this exercise is going to be a single leg deadlift. I'm going to give you a couple of ways that you can work into this because sometimes it's not really the easiest exercise to start with. So it's one thing that's going to work the back of the leg. So when we work the squats, we're really working heavily into the quads. Obviously, we'll get back into the hips and things with that as well, but it's more quad dominant. When we're wanting to balance all of that out, obviously, we're wanting to work into the hamstrings and the glutes as well from here. So this is a pulling exercise where you are pulling yourself straight back up. So when you come into this exercise, when I was talking a little bit in the squat video, I believe, I showed that when you do a squat, your butt comes down. When you do a deadlift, your butt comes back. So if you think of just putting your hands into the crease on your hips from here, brace everything really nice and strong and stand up tall. Keep that length in the upper body and just slightly bend those knees, so keep the knees soft, and you're going to come forward and then stand nice and tall. When you get tall from there, you should also be very firm. So we're not looking to push the hips forward in a big exaggerated thing that you will see sometimes on a lot of videos. So this would be picking something up off the floor and standing up. We're going to keep the weight close to us because most of us like to pick up children, pick up things off the floor all the time. But we want to be aware of actually physically using the back of the body from here. This also works all of the extensors up through the back. So you can do this with the legs together from here, and you're just going to reach down and stand back up. Squeeze and stand as tall as you can, coming from here and stand back up. Now you can always go, a lot of this will depend on flexibility. If you've got it, you can go all the way down, but if you don't have that, don't go down until you round out, because then your low back is going to take over, and that's not what we're looking for. We want to use the legs to pull ourselves back into that nice, strong standing position. When we move into the single leg, that also adds a balance component to that. So again, we want to try and stay squared off through the center here as we come into that, but to change the position just a little bit, there are a couple of things that you can do to work your way into that single leg. So if you see it the first time, you're like, oh my God, there's no way, don't worry about it. Work your way into that. So you can do it with a double leg first, and then if you wish to start working on getting it into a split stance so that you can put more emphasis on the front leg. So from here, you can do it just simply by splitting your stance. You've got one foot in front of the other, but you're still squared off, and you want to make sure that that back foot isn't turned in, but that both toes are going the same direction. You're again going to come forward from here, keeping the hands nice and close, and come back up. So in this particular instance, you would just come forward from here, and again, only going down as far as you can keep that nice length through the back. Again, we don't want to round with that, so standing up nice and tall, again, you're going to squeeze everything nice and strong as you come back up. You don't want to have a big bend in this knee as you come through there. A little bit of a bend is fine, but not a huge one. You also can simply come up onto the toe on that back foot and kind of give yourself a kickstand position. So you're coming back from here, squeeze and stand back up. Now, when you get into where you want to do the single leg deadlift, start this with no weight the first few times that you do it, and then see if you want to add weight to that. What you'll do from here is you're again going to try and stay squared off to the center. When you come forward, keeping the hands close, you're going to come out parallel to the floor, stand up, squeeze nice and tight. You can always stay on one side or you can alternate. I personally think it's harder to alternate, but that's just my own opinion. You do it however you wish. But again, from there, you will go ahead and come down and stand back up. Now, adding the weight, I did that real quick, right? So when you add the weight with it, you can, again, take it, if you want to make it more difficult once you get pretty comfortable with them, do an offset by just taking one dumbbell and changing sides with that. That'll make it a little bit more complicated and more challenging for your balance. If you're okay with it, to start off with, I would definitely do 2 dumbbells first so that you're a little bit more balanced with it. As you come from here again, think again nice and tall. As you exhale, coming forward from here, where you're trying to stay parallel to the floor, keeping those hips and the chest both down, rather than shifting off to one side. If you choose to change, come to the other side. Oops, I'm going to fall over because I'm talking. We're going to come back from here and come back up. Now, if you have problems with flexibility, the other thing that you can do from here is you can slightly bend that front leg, keep the back leg in more of a 90-degree bend, and come forward from here and come back up. And if that feels good to you, by all means stay with it like that, because a lot of times it is just purely flexibility. And that is our